Hello, welcome to ER Builds. My name is Van Elliott, and this is my 1994 Mazda MX-5 Miata. I've had this car just over 6 months, 6 months and 2 or 3 days, and I want to go over everything that I love and everything that I hate about this car, and whether I think that it could be a good daily for somebody, and whether I would recommend one. Since we're already inside of the car, I'm going to start here. Although the car is very small, I'm about 5'9", and Bradley, who is also on this channel, who also owns a Mazda Miata, he is 6'4", and we both 100% believe that we fit just fine in here. I'm just as comfortable as he is, and he's just as comfortable as I am. The seats are very forgiving, they give you a lot of room, they're very comfortable with sort of that bucket shape, they keep you pretty sturdy, the pedals are perfect distance apart, passenger and driver side both feel great. My very first con, I hate saying a con this early, but it has to be said. These cup holders are the worst cup holders I've ever had in a car. There are aftermarket parts that you can get for them, some of them being more expensive. Bradley has aftermarket ones, but as you can see, they are very shallow. Also, if you take a look, if you have a cup here, you can't really shift all that well, especially if you're someone like me who drinks energy drinks that are that tall. You end up being in sort of this kind of position, and that's not very fun. I wouldn't say it is the best solve, but as you can see, I've mounted a bicycle cup holder to the side of the shifter, and it works much better than these. I know that convertibles normally have a bad rap, but I absolutely love the convertible in this car. I don't know if it's because they were just made to be convertibles, every single one of them's a convertible, I don't know what it is, but if I was driving a convertible Camaro, I would be a little embarrassed. With this, it fits perfectly. It's very easy to get off, sometimes tricky to put back on, and just like that, now you're in a convertible. The transmission feels absolutely amazing. It's very forgiving, it's very patient with you. I had never owned a manual car before this. When I bought this car, I drove a manual car, I believe, 2 times ever, and I learned how to do this with a broken knee. Bradley took it to a parking lot with me in a different car. I had broke my knee just about 1 month prior, my clutch knee, and I was nervous as I'd only drove a manual Mustang that was broken, and I got it immediately. I think I stalled it 1 time, and it was just so great, so easy, and I don't think that I know somebody who's ever got in a Miata and said either I don't like the transmission or I think it's hard. With that being said, in an NA Miata, the one with the pop-ups, this generation, if you're too rough with reverse, there is something that can happen where the car can stay in reverse, but the stick won't. So there's a little lock in the transmission. When you put the stick, it locks it in reverse, it comes out, and that switch stays. So your car will be in neutral, you'll let off the clutch, and your car will stall backwards because it thinks it's in reverse. The way to fix it is very easy, but very inconvenient. There's a little switch on the bottom of the transmission. You just gotta unscrew, take a flathead, pop it right back out. But if it's cold and you're in the middle of nowhere, now you have to jack your car up, and maybe you're on a gravel road. It's not fun no matter what. But I have seen that as long as you're being easy with reverse, it's not gonna happen. It's happened to me 2 times, and I say that they were both my fault. First and foremost, I am going to apologize about the wind. I seem to have picked the worst day to record a video, but I've had it for 6 months, and I don't necessarily want to wait to a year. On the outside, I'm gonna be honest, I only mainly have positives. The car is very small. It is the easiest car to park that you will ever find. I guarantee it. So small, fits in any parking space, and the headlights show you where the front of the car is. I have never once hit a curb. I have never once been scared to sideswipe somebody. You can park so fast, whether you're going front or back, the car's gonna fit, and I've never worried about scratching anybody. Even when there's a jerk in a big old truck who parks over the line, I can still fit right in between both lines and not come anywhere near the truck. Along with that, the wheelbase on this car is very short, as it's only a 2-seater, and the car honestly just is small. That means that taking corners in this car feels absolutely amazing. It feels so great. It hugs the corner. Granted, I do have some downforce, but even before then, it hugs corners. I don't feel like I'm ever gonna lose control unless maybe you're in the rain, but that's a rear wheel car drive thing. That's not a Miata thing. These cars are a blank canvas. Any idea that you can have, it's probably already been done, but that doesn't mean that you can't do it. Everything about this car just says you can do this, you can do that. It's literally, when you buy them, it's a red bean with eyeballs, and it just says, make me yours. Honest to God, it is the most fun car I have ever drove. With that being said, mine is 31, Bradley's is 33. They are going to break. Some might have better luck with others. I know a guy who bought one and he's put thousands of dollars in it and never once has it run. On the other hand, me and Bradley's run just fine. Also, the parts for these cars, compared to other cars, are pretty dang cheap. Everything that I've had to replace because it broke was I had to replace my speedometer and odometer cable. That was about 40 bucks, and it took maybe an hour and a half to fix. Did everything myself. My brake booster is currently going out. I got a used brake booster for about 20 bucks, and I still need to put it in. One time I was idling way too high. All I had to do was clean the throttle body. I went up, got some brake clean, spent 45 minutes to an hour getting it out and cleaning it. I've had multiple issues with fuses. Probably 2 or 3 times I've blown a fuse. It's very cheap. You just gotta read the manual, look at what's where, and just go buy a pack of 5 fuses for about 5 bucks. Super simple, super cheap. And then obviously there's other wear items which might have more wear. Your windshield wipers, your brakes. Now a lot of these cars do have a hard time retaining oil. Mine does not leak oil anymore, but it still is burning oil. Bradley's Miata is older than mine and holds oil better than mine. It's just kind of what it's been used for. If modifying or disassembling or replacing or anything, the little clips, I'm not sure what they're actually called, but they're the little clips that you push through and then they go on the other side to hold it in. I've never had one come out in a good piece. Every one of those will break. As you can see, my old horrible weather strips, they're up a little bit because they've all broken. I have ones in my bumper that have broken. I'm sure they're cheap to get, but honestly, I hate using them, so I just kind of hope that they stay on. Again, this isn't Mazda's fault, but because they are so old, it's kind of hard to find them in great condition. Although that does make them relatively cheap. If you're gonna get one just to be OEM and keep it from the factory, that's gonna be kind of hard. Because every Miata that I've seen on person, except for one, I have only ever seen one Mazda Miata that was completely OEM with low miles. And every other one that I've seen, there is something modified or broken or jerry-rigged about everything. And that's just kind of something that comes with it, having a relatively popular and heavily modified car that's 30, in some cases almost pushing 40. Now, would I recommend a Mazda MX-5 Miata NA? Yes, I would. I love that car. It is my favorite car that I've ever owned. It is my favorite car that I've ever drove, and I can't imagine anything feeling any better. Yeah, it's kind of slow, but that's part of the charm. It makes 45 feel way better than doing 100, 120 in an actual fast car. Everything about the gearbox, the wheelbase, the fact that it's cute and has pop-up lights, everything about that car. You sit in it, and I know this message has been beaten to death, but I cannot help but smile when I'm in that car. I have been in a horrible mood, got in my car, and I swear it's made me feel better. I absolutely love the Miata MX-5. Would I recommend it to be a daily driver? You can. If all you can do, if you know that you want a Mazda Miata and you can only have one car, and you know no matter what you want that car, you can make do with it. If you are looking for a daily driver, if you have a project and you think, I would like another car that gets me around and is more reliable, but I still want it to be cool, I don't think I would recommend a Mazda Miata for that. I'm gonna be honest with you, as much as I love this car, I'm gonna buy another car here soon for a daily. It's not the best, they're very low. Granted, I am on coilovers, but one pothole will make you regret ever trying to go 5 over the speed limit. They can't go in gravel at all. They handle fine, but you have to go so slow and it's so bumpy, and you're always worried because the car is that low that one rock is just gonna have it out for your oil pan, and now you have to do much more work. I have never got in my car and it didn't start, although I have turned it on before and realized that I need to turn it back off and I need to work on it some more before I can go drive it. And when it ran fine last night and you have to be at work in 45 minutes, you're not trying to find out, oh hey, now something wants to explode. So you can daily drive it. If you do, I would not recommend get the one that says $2,500 OBO salvage title on Marketplace. I would recommend, if you were to daily it, get either a newer one without the pop-ups, unfortunately, or get the best condition one you can. But in my opinion, I believe they are more of a project car. I know that's hypocritical because me and Bradley are both dailying Mazda Miatas, but that should show you that I don't think an average person who's not a car guy or car girl should drive that. My mom should not be driving a Mazda Miata for a daily. I make do with it. Bradley makes do with it, and I know tons of people who make do with it. At the end of the day, the Mazda Miata has won my heart. All of them, not just the NA. I love every generation of Miata or MX-5 or Roadster or Unos or whatever you would like to call it. I love every single one of them. They're all great, and I love seeing how different some people make them, and it's also kind of cool to see how similar your ideas are to other people's. I would highly recommend them. Just be cautious if you're going to daily drive it. Now, in the middle of me making this video, I got some new side lights in the mail, so I'm going to go ahead and put those on and give you just a little bit of a glimpse before I get off of here. But in case I don't talk again, thank you so much for watching. It means a bit to me. If you'd like to subscribe, that would be cool, but I'm not going to ask you to because I have a passion for making videos and I want to get back into it. So thank you guys, and I'll talk to you next time. All right, so we got the clear lights on. I absolutely love them. I think they look much better than the red and orange ones. I have clear tail lights coming in the mail. So yeah, we'll update you when that happens. And again, thank you for watching ER Builds. We'll talk to you next time.